Yo guys, welcome back. We have Monday. We have some new leaks. The new pack is coming out on Friday. Obviously, we'll also go ahead and stream right there. We have the big reveal. There was one big new final archetype missing, and I was honestly figuring out that it would either be the Fiends with archetype or the White Woods archetypes. And spoiler alert, it is one of the two. So which one is it? We will get the White Forest stuff. White Forest is coming a synchro archetype. If you're not aware, I will show you every new card. We will talk over them. You can play them with runic cards if you want to. You can play them with the toy cards. You could also play them without them. We will also be able to summon the new Red Eyes Dark Dragoon if we want to do it. It's normally not what we are doing, but we can if we want to. But now let's first understand what is going on here. So one of our first cards is the Astella of the White Forest, and we have the sister, basically the L set of the White Forest. Very important cards that will probably be ultra rares. I guess this deck will be quite expensive since you need a lot of multiples of these specific cards. I'm definitely calling the L set and the Astella to be ultra rares, and you will need 3 of them both. You can send 1 spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard for cost. This is what they always do. Send spells and traps for cost to the graveyard. The cool thing is that the White Forest cards themselves can reset themselves when they are sent, but you can obviously also send runic cards, which is cool because then you have them in the grave and you can recycle them with the fountain. Special summon 1 a light spellcaster tuner from the deck, which could be this one, could also be this one, or other cards that we see in a moment. If a spell trap is sent to your graveyard to activate a monster effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can also special summon this, and this is our level 2 spellcaster here. And you can only use each effect of Astella of the White Forest once per turn. So we can start with her, get another one to the field, for example the L set if we wanted to get her. We can also send 1 spell trap from hand or field to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, and then add 1 White Forest monster from your deck to your hand. So this is a searcher basically, which is why we definitely want to start with this one, because she can search as follow up, and she's basically follow up from the graveyard if we do it again, this sending of a spell trap. During your opponent's turn, if a light spellcaster tuner is special summoned to your field while this card is in your graveyard, and this is definitely something we are going to do, we can add this card to our hand. So this is the start of our engine. We also have the Rushia of the White Forest spellcaster tuner and the Sylvie, the 2 level 4s. Both of them are tuners. So we have our level 2s and then we have our level 4s, which are the tuners. And then obviously you already have figured this out, I guess. We have level 6 synchro monsters that we will take a look at in the moment here. If you control a White Forest monster, we can special summon this card from the hand, so a basic free extender. We can also send 1 spell trap from our hand or field to the graveyard for cost, and then draw 1 card. So if we need another draw, if you need another card, we can activate the Rushia here. And then this is also an effect that the other one has. If this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you can target 1 White Forest synchro monster you control or in your graveyard, so we can basically get our resources back, our synchro resources back to the extra deck, return it to the extra deck, and if you do a special summon this card but negate its effect. So if we get her off the field, we can get her back on the field also via quick effect, also via our opponent's turn, which is because we will also be able to make synchro summon on our opponent's turn, but we can shuffle back our resources here. So a free extender, basically a double extender, since you can extend from your hand and then once again from your graveyard. We have Sylvie of the White Forest. If this card is normal or special summon, we can add 1 White Forest spell trap from deck to the hand. Very nice. Unfortunately, we will not be able to, like the Rushia, special summon her if we control a White Forest monster, so we will have to hard summon her basically. If this card is in our graveyard or from the graveyard, we can target 1 White Forest synchro monster we control or in the graveyard once again, return it to the extra deck, and if we do special summon this card but negate its effects. Another cool thing that we can do with the Sylvie as well as with the Rushia is that if our opponent uses, for example, an infinite impermanence on our, and we will see them in a moment, synchro monsters, we could use these cards from the graveyard via quick effect to dodge the imperm and have the effect go through, and then shuffle them back to the extra deck and get this body back to the field. So we have our 2 level 2 monsters here and our level 4 extenders. Then we have our spell traps, the Tales of the White Forest. If you control an illusion or spellcaster monster, we can add 1 White Forest monster from our deck to the hand, so the searcher here that you can get with your L set. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, we can set this card. So we can send this card and then we will get it back for free. We can also activate it because it's not a quick play spell. If this would be a quick play spell, obviously it would be a problem since we couldn't then activate it anymore. We have the Woes of the White Forest, the trap card, special special summon one White Forest monster from your hand or deck. Then immediately after this effect resolves, we can synchro summon one White Forest monster that we want to synchro summon. So this is one of the two ways in which we can synchro summon on our opponent's turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, we can set this card. So this is quite nice. We can send these cards away and then just reset them, but only once per turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. Same here with the tails. Then we have the first synchro monster, Silvera, a Wolf Tamer of the White Forest, which is also one interruption that we will quite often use on our opponent's turn. If this card is so level 6, if this card is special summoned, we can change all face up monsters our opponent controls to face down defense position. So like the Ruma Karma Cannon, basically. You can't change the link monsters, obviously. But this is very strong since you can just interrupt your opponent making plays. You can flip down their Tenpai monsters that they can then not use for synchro summon. You can flip down any like Snake Eyes monsters. You can flip down the Yubel monsters. A very strong interruption here that we will be able to make on our opponent's turn. Illusion and Spellcaster synchro monsters we control also gain 500 attack. Also, if they attack a defense position monster, basically inflict piercing damage. Not bad, but not super important. We want the Silvera for the effect. We have the Reselia, Sinister Sword of the White Forest, our searcher on our turn. You could say if this card is special summoned, you can send one spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, add one White Forest card or one light spellcaster monster from your deck to your hand. And the cool thing is, what you could do with this card, if you have it available, you can also use it to search an effect veiler, because this is a spellcaster card. So if you don't need any other search, for example, for one of your White Forest cards, you could go ahead and just add an effect veiler. And then Illusion and Spellcaster synchro monsters you control again 500 attack, blah blah blah, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And then we have the Diabel, Queen of the White Forest, the boss monster you could call her. So you definitely want to go into your Reselia on your turn to get even more stuff, maybe an effect value, which is quite nice. And then you also want to reach your level 8, the Diabel, which this is not hard to do, because when you have the Reselia, the level 6, which is also a tuner on the field, then you can, for example, trigger your Astala in the graveyard, because oh no, this is when a spell trap is sent, but you would send a spell trap with the Reselia to activate this effect, and then you would get your Astala back, which you can then use to go into your Diabel. If this card is synchro summoned using a tuner synchro monster, which we will do, you can target one spell trap in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Very strong effect. We can add anything here: Runic Fountain, Triple Tactic Talents, whatever you want. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can send one spell trap from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon one level 7 or lower tuner synchro monster from your extra deck, graveyard, or banishment. So this is just special summon our lower, our tuner synchro monster from extra deck or graveyard or banishment. We don't even need to do this synchro summon that we would need to do with the woes, where we would need to use the synchro material, but we can just summon a Silvera, which is our main interruption on our opponent's turn, where we can flip down the entire field via our Diabel, Queen of the White Forest. So this is basically what you want to achieve with this deck, and then obviously you have a lot of hand interruptions as well. And we can also take a look at how you could play this deck. You can see there's basically a runic list here, and then there's a toy box list here, which will probably be the two lists that we have available. Not quite sure whether we will play the runic stuff, since it is quite heavily hit here in Masrul. Also an important card for this deck is the Zapper Shrimp, which we are not aware whether we will get this or not. We might. We can make this on our end board. If this card is special summoned, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one spell trap your opponent controls, destroy it. But we can also one spell chain during our opponent's main phase. Immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using this card we control, which is very cool, because then we can, if we have the Zapper Shrimp that we can, for example, make with woes or have made before, and the Diabel that we have already used to get our flip down card to the field, then we can use Zapper Shrimp as well as this one to go into, for example, Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign, or in our case, we would go into a Chaos Angel or Baron de Fleur, which they in the TCG don't have anymore. Baron de Fleur would definitely make sense. But you can see right here, we are playing triple LZ, we are playing triple, don't we play the other one? Okay, we are not playing the other one, but there you can see that the other one, the Astala, is not that great. The LZ definitely being the better one here. But there are definitely lists playing both. We are playing Rushia, we are playing Triple Sylvie. I guess these will be super rares. And yeah, then we have a Bestial package in here. We are playing 1 Tails and 1 Trap basically. And then the rest is the Runic engine. Very interested in seeing whether this could work. We have the Runic at 1, right? And we have our Tip at 1 also. Yeah, at 2, okay. But this could definitely work. And then you can see we have the Runic cards in here, a few level 10 Synchro monsters, and then the White Forest ones. I guess the Archetype might not be that expensive since we only need one of each of these, and if we can play without the Astela, then it might be okay. Actually, we will have to see. Very interesting. And then we have the White Forest Pure deck, which then you would definitely play the Astela. You can see that here we have the effect where to search, as I mentioned. Then we are playing both of the little girls, and here we are playing only one Rushia. Interesting. So you can get away with different ratios. We are playing the Toy Box engine, which, if you're not aware, you can play this card. Very nice. Toy Box, once per turn when an opponent monster declares an attack, you can send one face down card you can to the graveyard, destroy that monster. Cool. But once per turn we can from our hand deck face up monster zone and or graveyard choose up to 2 monsters with toy in their original name that can set themselves from the hand and set them in your spell trap zone. So we can play this card and then we can set a tank and a toy soldier. And the thing is, if we send these away for the effects of our White Forest monsters, then they can be special summoned, right? It says if this card in the spell trap zone is sent to the graveyard, we can special summon this. And the toy soldier also says this, but the toy soldier, I think, can also add then another toy box. So this is a very nice starter. We can place them, we can get them away, and then we have 2 level 4 bodies that we can use for synchro summons. Very, very strong. You can see once again, here's the Zapper Shrimp that we would also be using if we get it. I guess we get it. You can see also we have the White Forest cards each once, so that's not that expensive. And we have the spell card ones, the trap card ones. I guess how they could make it expensive is if they do not only make these cards here, which would probably be ultra rares, both ultra rares, but also these here. And then it could be very expensive, but could not be the most expensive archetype. We will have to see. Playing the toy box, they are also playing a Manadium Reframing. Definitely makes sense because this is just a counter trap that you can also, if you have discarded it, reset it with the Belle Queen of the White Forest. And yeah, we can also play Skill Drain in here, apparently, since these monsters have quite high attack points. So very interesting. I am definitely excited for this. Would have been a bit more excited for Fiendsmith, but I guess Fiendsmith will then come in January for sure. But yeah, White Forest, let me know in the comments. I think this is one of the fan favorite archetypes. It's very cool. The artwork is cool. You can play it in a few different ways, and this will also get a bit of future support. So definitely not a bad archetype. Also not the strongest archetype, but not a bad one. We can check top decks here. If we, for example, just keep it here, top decks, you can see White Forest is here in the 3rd row, basically. Still being played in the OCG, still being played in the TCG. We can see in the OCG there are some current lists here. There's a 3rd and 4th place list, a 2nd place list, where we are combining this with the Fiendsmith engine that we will get in the future, also the Azamina engine. So there's definitely a lot of things that you can do with White Forest, and you will also be able to do with White Forest in the future. Here's another future support card, Azamina LZ of the White Forest. Or is it just an addition? Is this just another? Oh no, it's a new one. Azamina LZ. Okay, let's read this because I have not read this myself. I'm not aware of this card. Is there more new support that we are using? Oh, there's another one. Simple Spoils of the White Forest. Okay, I'm not super familiar with the cards that have been added here for the White Forest archetype in the future, but these two seem to be, and then Azamina Unleashing. This card is obviously just a White Forest card. Okay, let's have some fun. Let's read them because then we can see how good. Very nice artwork, by the way. You can only use the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd effect once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, a special summon 1 White Forest or Azamina monster from your hand. So if you're not aware, Azamina is all of this stuff here. A very good support for anything playing Fiendsmith, and the Azamina stuff seems to be married to the White Forest stuff, it seems. We can special summon White Forest or Azamina monster from your hand. During your main phase, you can fusion summon an Azamina fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. That's nice because Azamina means we have this, I think this is this one, the Illa Sylvia is a like Omni Negate, and then if this card is sent to the graveyard as single material, we can add 1 Sinful Spoils card from deck to hand. That's nice. This starts our Sinful Spoils engine. We have Sinful Spoils of the White Forest. We can only use 1st and 2nd. If you control Fiend, Illusion, or Spellcaster monster, which is easy, activate one of these effects. Quick play spell, special summon 1 Fiend, Illusion, or Spellcaster monster from your hand. Nice. Or fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. Okay, interesting. And then Azamina Unleashing. We can see Azamina together with White Forest. This card is always treated as a White Forest card, which I guess means that we can search it and send it away. Target cards on the field up to the number of fusion and synchro monsters, fiends, illusion, spellcasters you control, add in your graveyard, return them to hand. This is actually nice. This can send to the graveyard to activate a monster effect. We can set this. Very nice. Interesting. So we will be able in the future to play like a combination of these two archetypes, Azamina, White Forest. It looks pretty interesting. Could be very cool together with Fiendsmith. This to come in the future. But let me know in the comments what do you think of this new leaks. Are you hyped for Friday? Let me know. And thanks for being here. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, hitting a thumbs up and the notification bell. And we will see each other in the next one.